What's going on, everybody? Cable Guy Ken here with you. Last video I'm going to be able to do this weekend. Sun's getting ready to go down on me, running out of time. Got a long-awaited review on the Blind Horse Outdoors, or Blind Horse Knife Company Machete, or as we on the underground we're calling it, the Machete, because that's when they released it. Before I pull it out the sheath, a couple of things I'll show you. It's got a really nice leather belt loop here. Got a retention system here that you can slide up, and though the sheath, you know, it will slide out a little bit, it won't come out of the sheath all the way, so you don't have to worry about it falling out if you're, you know, tumble or anything like that. With it out of the sheath, by the way, it did not come like this. I added the Canteen Shop logo here, Woods Monkey logo right there for it, and I had the habless sticker on the back. It came off, and I don't know what happened here. This happened at the gathering. Something got spilled on it, probably alcohol or something, but I've tried scrubbing and it won't come off, so I'm just going to take it apart, repolish it, put some black leather dye on it, and cover it back up. There is a screw here. I don't know if y'all can see that on the video or not. There's a screw here that keeps this belt loop closed up, so if you've got a wider belt, you can remove that screw and open that leather up, you know, the full width. Makes it really awesome. So you can put it on a wider belt like a gun belt. The retention screw here, you can tighten it and loosen it. Makes it a lot easier to slide up and down. Most of the time, if I'm wearing it, you know, to use, I keep it loose. But if I'm going to throw it in my pack, I'll tighten it up and throw it in the pack so I don't have to worry about it coming out. There's multiple lashing points around it, literally all over this thing, so you know, you could strap things to it a lot easier if you wanted to. It's big enough that you could put like the Pathfinder spear that I've got. You could strap it to the back of this with some paracord, keep it on there, make this a, you know, a little kit in itself. Strap a small pouch onto the back of it, on the front, either one, with a fire kit, first aid, stuff like that in it. The blade is 1075, if I'm not mistaken, carbon steel. Now these are made by a company for Blind Horse Knives, and they're rehandled by them. It's made to their specs and their design and everything. Then they handle them, sharpen them, and send them out. It is razor shaving sharp from the factory. I'll show y'all close up from here in a minute. Another reason why I'm doing the last video, running out of hair to shave. Now I got mine with the Machete handles, the black. They offered it in 3 different varieties. I'm pretty sure they still do on their page. But when I finally got the fundage to order mine when they released it, this is all they had left. So I ordered it and told them I'd pick it up at the gathering when I got there. The handle design on this is made so that you can choke up on it at the very front, do some of your finer tasks. You can choke all the way back here on the back for your heavy chopping. If you've really got to do some chopping, you've got a, you know, a bigger piece you really need to swing into. You've got a large lanyard hold at the rear and a smaller lanyard hold at the front that is perfect for putting a small lanyard through, putting your wrist through it, and then if you're choked back all the way back here, that lanyard keeps it locked into your hand, and if you do happen to let go, you don't have to worry about the machete swinging around on you. If you've just got the lanyard tied back here and it's around your hand, if you happen to let go of it, then that lanyard is causing that machete to swing around and possibly come into contact with a part of your body. The back of it is squared, especially right here, so that you can strike a ferro rod. Now I did not bring one with me, but y'all seen me strike ferro rods 1,000 times. You pretty much know if I tell you it'll strike a ferro rod, it will. It's also good for getting here and scraping off bark and stuff. If you were doing something like, say, building a bow, this little section right here, now this is rounded so that you can grab it, but this little section right here would be great for putting on that wood like that, kind of like a plane, to help scrape that wood down. And so the back of it from here forward is rounded so that you can put this, say you've got something like a piece of wood like this, and you wanted to pull to you as a draw knife. Of course, I've got limbs and everything else sticking up off of this that I got to get off here. Y'all hear that ring? I think that's what sold me on the Machete. It wasn't the company that made it, it was that sound. Because it does that every time. It's just a twing. I mean, lets you know it's doing something. The edge, of course, is a convex ground edge. Blade is flat and then convex edge down to it. Now, I've had to resharpen this because I did get it, I said, back in May, and I used it a lot. But find a spot here you can see. And I hope I'm in frame as I shave all the hair off my arm today. It is shaving sharp. It takes an edge beautifully. As far as chopping and stuff, you can't beat it for the size and the weight, the balance of it. You can choke it up all the way up to this other finger choy here if you wanted to, and really get in there and use it to make little push cuts, just like if it was a smaller knife. Do your little stop cut, come in there and make a notch. Of course, I'm right on top of the limb. Let me get a better candidate here. There we go. How about that? You can come in here, make your little stop cut, and come right back in the back. Make your notches for your traps, tent stakes, what have you. You know, real quick. And of course, like I said, razor sharp. I mean, just blistering sharp knife. You can come right back there on the back if you need to make your little buzz sticks, feather curls, whatever you want to call them. You can do that pretty easy. And again, like I said, the rounded part of it is so you can come over here and do like this as a draw knife. Yeah, I know I got a stick pointing up to my neck, but I'm not putting pressure on it enough that if I slip I'm going to hurt myself. But just to, you know, give you an example of what you can do with it. The price on this thing, I mean, alright, I've got my video out about my $6 Machete. Nothing wrong with that. It does a great job for what it is. China made stainless steel. But the handle on it is a bare handle that's just wrapped with paracord. Marbles makes a lot of really great machetes. Condor Tool and Knife makes tons of great machetes. Y'all know I'm a big fan of them. I've got 4 or 5 of their knives. But you get what you pay for. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those machetes, because there's not. I mean, I said I wouldn't say they were good and then turn around and say, oh, they're crap, you know, don't buy those, buy this. But if you want to spend the extra money and get an American-made, durable, well-bit tool, then this is the deal. I mean, somebody made a comment that you're paying for the brand name. Okay, yeah, you do pay a little bit for the fact that you're buying a company's name, Blind Horse Knives. But if you've bought any Blind Horse knives, you know that you're paying for the quality that they put into them and the fact that they back them up 100%. I mean, these guys are top-notch above all behind what they sell. And you know, I've got plenty of Blind Horse knives now. I started last year with one, the Pathfinder. I've got 8 or 9 now that I've bought. People have given me, you know, as presents and stuff, like my wife. Some of those are my wife's knives. I just call them my knives because they're in our collection. But, you know, I've got plenty of them. I have never found fault with any of them. They've all been just impeccably designed, and the design that they went on, they followed through with it with amazing attention to detail and the quality that they put into it. The fisheye bolts, the grind lines, the smoothness. I mean, there's no hot spots on this. It's totally comfortable in the hand. Now, I did polish my micarta up a little bit. I didn't put a shine on it, but I did polish it a little bit. But there's no hot spots, there's no sore spots or anything like that, and it holds an edge wonderfully. I mean, I used it for 3-4 months before I had to sharpen it at all, and then I just took it over to my buffer in the house, you know, and ran it down a couple of times. It brought the edge right back shaving sharp. Another thing that they did to it that makes it just a really great tool for like where I live, you know, the humidity and everything, is the sheath is an open sheath design. You'll notice it's leather with 2 stacks of Kydex, and that Kydex is separated with washers all the way around, so that if you do happen to fall in the drink, go into a mud puddle, you know, swamp, creek, what have you, when you come out, all the water is going to run through this. And if you do have any dirt or anything down inside the sheath, you can literally just take it out, take the knife out if you want to, dip it down into a stream or something with some clear water, rinse it out, all the dirt's gone, knife goes right back in, it stays dry. You don't have to worry about rust or anything because, well, I mean, okay, yeah, you do have to worry about rust, but you don't have to worry about it as you would if it was a closed sheath without any kind of drainage or anything. And even on some sheaths where they put a little weep hole on the back, there's still some moisture that can stay down inside there, where with this, it's totally open, see-through. You don't have to worry about the muck and the mud and the water and everything staying inside of it. You put your sheath up that night while you're sleeping, you wake up the next morning and it's covered in rust and stains and everything. You don't have to worry about that as much. Overall weight, I'd say probably just a little over a pound, maybe a little bit more, but it's not extremely heavy. 1/8 of an inch thick, which some people are going to say is a thin blade, but that thin blade affords you the ability to chop with a little bit more ease. And I'm just going to get right here and just do a little quick pop on it. But it really, I hold mine with my fingers like that, unless I'm going to do serious chopping. Now if I'm going to really be welling into something, I'll hold it back here, but most of the time I hold it up here. And see how it's flopping? I just give quick little pops and let the machete's weight come down for you. And I mean, it makes short work of stuff. And I've said this before, most time if I'm in the woods, you know, and I'm getting ready to start a fire, I'll gather stuff about this size and like this and split it down, because I'm not trying to build a big fire. And if you did want to baton something with it, see if I've got anything. I'll just do this. We'll do this. It will, tell you what, it will baton nicely. There's not a lot of shock in your hand, but as I've said before, it's where you place the blade. You don't want to put the blade way up here and be welling on it, because then you've got all this steel that's going to be vibrating. Back up a little bit more, make sure y'all can see what I'm doing here. I put it closer up, and I've got knots galore in this thing. All those knots I had to go through. You can see that, and this is a piece of cedar out of a Christmas tree. Actually, I don't throw my Christmas trees away. I delimb them and then set everything aside to use later. You should see all the knots and the twists and the curls that I'm having to go through to get through that. Now this is just a piece of oak here. It goes right through it. And something I noted, I don't know if y'all paid attention, but something I did a minute ago, when I'm getting close to the ground, if I don't have anything to the baton on, I will actually flip the machete over like so and hit the wood real quick. Pop, pop. You know, if I'm having trouble getting it through a piece of wood like I was with that cedar. Just to keep from, you know, driving that blade down into the dirt for me. Pop this back up. Pop her in there and lock her down. I do lock it when I put it up in the house, that way, you know, if anybody bumps it, I don't have to worry about it coming out and hitting them. The only mentionable that needs to be brought out is when you're putting this back in the sheath, make sure you're putting it in the sheath and not between the kydex and the leather right there, because if you don't, you can shove it down in there and it'll come out the back of the leather down here, possibly cut your hand. So you want to make sure you're putting it in the sheath itself, not behind it. Just common sense though. I mean, use this thing up here. You know, it's our best survival tool we've ever been given. Use it. Watch what you're doing, pay attention. It's a sharp tool, it's gonna cut you if you don't. Other than that, you couldn't ask for a better machete, especially not at the price. Well built, quality, just like the Woodcrafter I did the review on yesterday. It's gonna last you for a very, very, very long time. I mean, at least I know it'll last my lifetime, and then whichever one of my kids gets it, it'll probably last theirs as long as they take care of it. Keep it sharp, keep it oiled, and keep an eye on what you're doing, you know. Just that simple. Check them out, y'all. Blind Horse Outdoors or Blind Horse Knife Company, either one. I'll try to post the links down here in the description. The price escapes me right now. I want to say it was like $110 or something, or $100. I may be off just a little bit on that one way or the other, but either way, it's still a great value for the money. I could see this as a one-tool option as far as your cutting tool, because I can do everything with it. Now that's me, that ain't you. You know, it's all about your skill and what you train with. And you know, I can use a bigger knife as a smaller knife. And real quick, I don't have anything to skin with you, but I'll show you. You can take it like this, lay it down across your arm right here. And now you can use this to do your skinning. You can come in here, get up under the animal, get your cut started with that point right there. Get your cut started. Then you can lay it down just like that right there. Come back here behind where you made your start cut, pull the skin up, and just start sliding. You know, I saw Dave on one of his episodes of Dual Survival. He had it up here, you know, doing like this, and I mean, it works, but it's a little awkward looking just for me. Like I said, we're talking about what I do. So I lay it down across my arm, let it rest right there, and then when you're pushing that up, it's giving you a good solid purchase on it. You've got control over the blade, and it's not as awkward to use. And then you can flip it right around like this, even with that long edge on there, or the long handle on there. It's not that big of a deal to hold, and get in here and do some slicing in this manner if you have to. So that'll finish us up right now, y'all. Like I said, a lot of people have been asking me when I was going to do it. It's just been time and slipping my mind and everything else. But BHK, Blind Horse Knives, Machete, check them out. Give them a holler, give LT and Dan a call and let them know you want one. It won't come with the fancy stickers on it, but you can talk to them fellas about that. How about that? Cable Guy Ken, appreciate you watching, and we'll check you out in the next one, alright?